Expand your vocabulary with our core 2,000 words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free German ebook before it's gone.
Welcome to GermanPod101.com's Deutsch in 3 Minuten. The fastest, easiest and most fun way to learn German. Hallo, ich heiße Laura, sehr erfreut. Hi, I'm Laura, nice to meet you. In this series, we're going to learn basic German expressions. It's super easy and it only takes 3 minutes. In this lesson, we are going to learn how to introduce ourselves in German. We'll start speaking right away, but first, it's important to clarify that in German there is a difference between the formal and the informal language. Let's first see how German people introduce themselves in an informal situation. Hallo, ich heiße Laura. Schön, dich kennenzulernen. Hi, I'm Laura. Nice to meet you. Hallo, ich heiße Laura. Schön, dich kennenzulernen. Start by saying Hallo, ich heiße, then say your name. Hallo, ich heiße Laura. Finally say schön, dich kennenzulernen. Hallo, ich heiße Laura. Schön, dich kennenzulernen. And now, let's see the same sentence in formal speech. Guten Tag, ich heiße Laura Meyer. Schön, Sie kennenzulernen. Good day, I'm Laura Meyer. Nice to meet you. Guten Tag, ich heiße Laura Meyer. Schön, Sie kennenzulernen. So, what has changed from the previous introduction? Let's take a close look at these expressions together. Hallo has been substituted with the formal greeting Guten Tag, German for good day. Ich heiße Laura has not been changed. Ich heiße simply means I am. However, during a formal self-introduction, we also say our last name. So I said Laura Meyer. Here, you would say your full name. Finally, pay attention to the ending. We went from dich kennenzulernen to Sie kennenzulernen. What is changing is the German word for you. In a formal sentence, we use the more polite word Sie. One more time. The informal way to introduce yourself in German is Hallo, ich heiße Laura. Schön, dich kennenzulernen. The formal way to introduce yourself is Guten Tag, ich heiße Laura Meyer. Schön, Sie kennenzulernen. Now it's time for Laura's insights. When you introduce yourself, it's a good habit to shake hands. If you're not sure whether to use schön, dich kennenzulernen or schön, Sie kennenzulernen, just say simply sehr erfreut, as I said at the beginning of this lesson. If you use the correct sentence with German people, they're definitely going to be impressed. That's it for this lesson. Do you know how we say thank you in German? We learn how to say this and many other words in the next lesson. Bis bald zur nächsten Lektion. See you then.
Want to master grammar so you can speak properly, express yourself better, and understand more? In this video, I'll show you how to master grammar with our lessons and learning program. Let's begin. Number 1. Listen to the lesson conversations and explanations. In every lesson, you learn a conversation. Then, our teachers break down every word and grammar rule. So you're actually learning grammar rules in the context of conversations, and you can easily see how they're used. Once you're done, review the conversation again and again to remember what you've learned. Number 2, read the bonus explanations and tutorials. With the lesson notes, you get extra grammar explanations and examples that are not presented in the lesson. After you're done with the lesson, read the lesson notes for extra review. You can even save them as PDFs so that you can access them anytime. Number 3, leave a comment on the lesson. Once you've learned a grammar point, be sure to use it. Leave a comment in the comments section. Write some example sentences for practice. Our teachers will review your comment and give you feedback. Number 4, unlock even more grammar lessons. If you want to find all of the grammar lessons available, visit our lesson library. Under Category, choose Grammar. You'll get all of the pathways and lessons dedicated to helping you learn and master sentence patterns and grammar points. So, if you're ready to finally learn a new language the fast, fun, and easy way, sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Signing up takes less than 30 seconds, and you'll start speaking from your very first lesson. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share it with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye!
Welcome to Can Do German by GermanPod101.com.
Hallo zusammen, ich bin Katrin Preußler. Hi everyone, I'm Katrin Preußler. In this lesson, you learn how to introduce yourself in German.
Want to know if your German skills are improving and what your real learning level is? Get your language skills assessed with our free level assessment test. Just click the link in the description and sign up for a free lifetime account to get assessed.
This is Mark Lee, and he's on a plane to Germany. Mark is having a casual conversation with Marvin Moss, a passenger sitting next to him. After a short exchange, Marvin introduces himself. I'm Marvin, and you?
Ich bin Marvin. Und du?
Listen to the conversation and focus on Mark's response. Note, the speakers in this conversation use informal German. Ready?
Ich bin Marvin. Und du?
Ich heiße Mark.
Once more with the English translation.
Ich bin Marvin. Und du?
I'm Marvin, and you?
Ich heiße Mark.
My name is Mark.
Let's take a closer look at the conversation.
Do you remember how Marvin introduces himself? I'm Marvin, and you?
Ich bin Marvin. Und du?
First is
Ich,
I.
ich, ich
Next is
bin,
am, as in I am.
bin, bin, bin,
Is from the verb,
sein,
meaning to be.
sein,
Next is the name,
Marvin,
Marvin.
Marvin, Marvin.
Together it's
Ich bin Marvin.
I am Marvin, or I'm Marvin.
Ich bin Marvin.
Note, when introducing himself, Marvin uses only his given name. In Germany, this is considered an offer to use informal language. Next is
Und du?
meaning and you. First is
Und,
and.
und, und,
Next is
du,
you, when using informal German.
du, du.
Together it's
Und du?
and you.
Und du?
Altogether it's
Ich bin Marvin. Und du?
I'm Marvin, and you?
Ich bin Marvin. Und du?
Now, let's take a closer look at Mark's response.
Do you remember how Mark says, My name is Mark?
Ich heiße Mark.
First is
Ich,
I.
ich,
Next is
heiße,
am called, as in I'm called.
heiße, heiße, heiße,
Is from the verb
heißen,
to be called.
heißen,
Together it's
Ich heiße.
literally meaning I am called, but it translates as my name is.
Ich heiße.
After this is the name
Mark.
Mark.
Mark. Mark.
Altogether it's
Ich heiße Mark.
my name is Mark.
Ich heiße Mark.
Note, Mark replies with his given name, giving Marvin a signal that he agrees to use informal language. Altogether it's
Ich heiße Mark.
my name is Mark.
Ich heiße Mark.
The pattern is
Ich heiße Name.
my name is name.
Ich heiße Name.
To use this pattern, simply replace the name placeholder with your name. Note, use this pattern with your given name or your given name and surname. Imagine you're Karen Lee. In German,
Karen. Karen. Karen.
say, my name is Karen. Ready?
Ich heiße Karen.
My name is Karen.
Ich heiße Karen.
In German, there are both informal and formal ways of speaking. What you use depends on whom you're speaking with. Formal language is called
Siezen.
because you use the formal word for you, which is.
Sie.
This is usually used with strangers, or with people who are more senior than yourself. It's also common in business settings. Informal language is called
Duzen.
because you use the informal word for you, which is.
Du.
According to German etiquette, the older person should be the one to initiate the switch to informal language. In our example, Marvin and Mark are similar in age, so they use informal language to start. During an exchange of self-introductions, you may hear
Freut mich.
a short way to say, nice to meet you,
Freut mich.
is from the expression,
Es freut mich, Sie kennenzulernen.
literally meaning, it pleases me to become acquainted with you, but translates as, nice to meet you. Let's look at some more examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
Ich bin Marvin. Ich bin Marvin.
Ich heiße Mark. Ich heiße Mark.
Hallo. Ich heiße Karen. Hallo. Ich heiße Karen.
Freut mich. Ich bin Katrin. Freut mich. Ich bin Katrin.
Mein Name ist Finja Fischer. Mein Name ist Finja Fischer.
Did you notice how the last speaker uses a different pattern?
Wondering how you can master these conversations even faster? Here's how. 1. Read along. You get the lesson conversation and translations inside our dialogue tool, so that you see each word as you hear it and understand it all. 2. Practice speaking. By shadowing what you hear, you can also record and compare yourself with native speakers with our voice recording tools. And 3. Take our assessment tests and see how much you remember. These tools are part of our Can-Do course. Just click the link in the description to get them. She says,
Mein Name ist Finja Fischer.
my name is Finja Fischer.
Mein Name ist Finja Fischer.
This pattern uses the phrase,
Mein Name ist.
which literally means, my name is.
Mein Name ist.
First is
Mein.
my.
Mein. Mein.
After this is
Name.
name.
Name. Name.
Next is
Ist.
as in my name is.
Ist. Ist.
Note,
Ist.
is from the verb
Sein.
to be.
Sein.
Next is the name
Finja Fischer.
Finja Fischer.
Finja Fischer. Finja Fischer.
Altogether,
Mein Name ist Finja Fischer.
my name is Finja Fischer.
Mein Name ist Finja Fischer.
The pattern is
Mein Name ist Name.
my name is name. This pattern can be used with either a given name, surname, or full name. You should be aware of this pattern, but you won't need it for this lesson. Let's review the key vocabulary.
Hallo.
Hello,
Hallo. Hallo. Freut mich.
nice to meet you.
Freut mich. Freut mich. Let's review. Respond to the prompts by speaking aloud. Then repeat after me, focusing on pronunciation. Ready? Do you remember the informal way to say you? Du. Du. And how to say and you? Und du? Und du? Do you remember the German pronunciation of Marvin's name? Marvin. Marvin. And how to say I? Ich. Ich. Do you remember how Marvin Mars says, I'm Marvin?
Ich bin Marvin.
Ich bin Marvin. Do you remember the German pronunciation of Mark's name? Mark. Mark. And do you remember how Mark Lee says, my name is Mark. Literally, I'm called Mark.
Ich heiße Mark.
Ich heiße Mark. Do you remember how to say nice to meet you? Freut mich. Freut mich.
Let's practice. Imagine you're Karen.
Karen.
Respond by saying, my name is Karen. Ready?
Ich bin Marvin. Und du?
Ich heiße Karen.
Listen again and repeat.
Ich heiße Karen. Ich heiße Karen.
Let's try another. Imagine you're Finja.
Finja.
Include nice to meet you. Ready?
Ich bin Marvin. Und du?
Freut mich. Ich heiße Finja.
Listen again and repeat.
Freut mich. Ich heiße Finja. Freut mich. Ich heiße Finja.
Let's try one more. Imagine you're Katrin.
Katrin.
Introduce yourself with the
Ich bin.
pattern. And then prompt your partner with, and you? Ready?
Ich bin Katrin. Und du?
Ich heiße Marvin.
Listen again and repeat.
Ich bin Katrin. Und du? Ich bin Katrin. Und du? This is the end of this lesson.
Now, here's what you can do to cement this conversation in your head. Review the conversation with our dialogue tool and lesson transcripts. Study the key words and phrases with our spaced repetition flashcards. Review the key grammar and cultural tips inside the lesson notes. And test yourself with our assessment tests. So click the link in the description right now and sign up for your free lifetime account to access our Can-Do course.
Well done! Now you know how to introduce yourself in German. That's all there is to it. Keep practicing and move on to the next lesson.
Hi everybody, Anja here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common German questions. The question for this lesson is, what is schon in German and how do I use it? Schon literally means yet or already, such as hast du schon gegessen? Meaning have you eaten yet? Or es ist schon spät. It's already late. It's a really common German expression. Idiomatically, it's often used to make a statement friendlier or add emphasis. Let's do some examples so you can learn how to use schon correctly. A sample sentence would be es ist schon okay, which simply means it's okay. Like you would say if you were forgiving someone who has offended you. It would be possible to use the sentence es ist okay, but this might seem a bit short and distant. You can think of it as saying, it's okay, it has already been forgiven and forgotten. Another example is schon gut, which literally translates to already good, it's okay, or apology accepted. This can be used as a response to someone apologizing for a minor mistake. For example, schon gut, mach dir keine Sorgen, which means it's okay, don't worry. If you're still upset about the situation, you can use the more curt schon gut, which applies, okay, let's not talk about it anymore and move on. You can also use this phrase, schon besser, which literally means already better. You may hear this, for example, if you receive feedback on something like a project or a report, make changes, and then present your changes to your teacher or boss. In this case, they might say, schon besser. This can come across in different ways depending on how it's said. A slow curt schon besser, emphasizing the schon, can come across as better but not good enough. But a friendly oh, das ist schon viel besser sounds much more uplifting and positive and can translate as oh, this is already much better. If you want to step up your German game a little with your friends, you can use the phrase Die Sache ist schon gegessen, which literally means the thing has already been eaten. It's an idiom that actually means a negative incident has already been forgotten. Try using it the next time one of your German friends apologizes for something. One last insider hint is be careful not to confuse schon with schön, with an umlaut over the O. That means beautiful. Do you have any more questions? Leave them in the comments and I'll try to answer them. Tschüss, bis zum nächsten Mal. Bye, see you next time. Welcome to Fun and Easy German by GermanPod101.com. Do you know how to describe where you're from in German? You're about to learn this and much more, so keep watching. Hallo, ich bin Anja. Hi everyone, I'm Anja. In this lesson, you'll learn how to introduce yourself and more in German. No matter where you are in the world, you will always meet people who are interested in hearing your story. This is why learning how to ask and answer typical questions in German, like who are you and where you're from, is essential for conversing with German-speaking people. In this video, we'll teach you how to ask and answer the following questions and more in German. What's your name? How old are you? Where are you from? How's the family? What are you doing here? What do you like to do? What do you do for a living? And why are you learning German? Let's start with the question, who are you? In German, who are you is wer bist du? Wer bist du? Wer bist du? It's not a very common question, so you probably won't have to use it that much. Instead, you'll likely ask, wie heißt du? What's your name? Wie heißt du? Wie heißt du? To answer this question or to introduce yourself, you can say, for example, ich heiße Anja. My name is Anja. Ich heiße Anja. Ich heiße Anja. And of course, you'll need to replace Anja with your own name. Similarly, you can also just say, ich bin Anja. I'm Anja. Ich bin Anja. Ich bin Anja. And again, replace my name with your own. If you want to ask about someone's age, you can say, wie alt bist du? How old are you? Wie alt bist du? Wie alt bist du? To answer this question, replace 26 or 26 with your age and say, ich bin 26 Jahre alt. I'm 26 years old. Ich bin 26 Jahre alt. Ich bin 26 Jahre alt. A question that often follows the previous one is, where are you from? In German, to say, where are you from, you say, woher kommst du? Woher kommst du? Woher kommst du? There are two common ways to answer this. Ich komme aus Russland. I come from Russia. Ich komme aus Russland. Ich komme aus Russland. And ich bin Amerikaner. I'm an American. Ich bin Amerikaner. Ich bin Amerikaner. If your home country is already known, however, you may be asked a question like, welche Stadt in Spanien? Which city in Spain? Welche Stadt in Spanien? Welche Stadt in Spanien? You can then answer the question by stating the city you're from, followed by, warst du schon da? Have you been there? For example, Bilbao, warst du schon da? Bilbao, have you been there? Bilbao. Warst du schon da? Bilbao. Warst du schon da? And that's where the conversation can get started. If you happen to move to a different city or country, it may be helpful to know the verb wohnen, meaning to live in. Wohnen. Wohnen. For example, if you live in Munich, you can say, Jetzt wohne ich in München. I live in Munich now. Jetzt wohne ich in München. Jetzt wohne ich in München. Now we learn how to ask about the family. It's common in Germany for one of the first questions someone you've just met would ask you to be, Hast du Geschwister? Do you have siblings? Hast du Geschwister? Hast du Geschwister? And a possible answer is, Ja, ich habe einen Bruder und 2 Schwestern. Yes, I have a brother and 2 sisters. Ja, ich habe einen Bruder und 2 Schwestern. Ja, ich habe einen Bruder und 2 Schwestern. You may also want to talk about your family members as well. You can say, for example, Meine Mutter ist Juristin. My mother is a lawyer. Meine Mutter ist Juristin. Meine Mutter ist Juristin. Or, meine Schwester wohnt in Ungarn. My sister lives in Hungary. Meine Schwester wohnt in Ungarn. Meine Schwester wohnt in Ungarn. Next, let's learn how to say, What are you doing here? When translated into German, what are you doing here is, Was machst du hier? Was machst du hier? Was machst du hier? If you're a traveler, a good idea is to share the length of your stay in that city and ask for some recommendations. You can say, Ich bin hier im Urlaub, which means, I'm here on vacation. Ich bin hier im Urlaub. Ich bin hier im Urlaub. And then say something like, Ich bin nur für ein paar Tage hier. I'm just here for a couple of days. Ich bin nur für ein paar Tage hier. Ich bin nur für ein paar Tage hier. And remember, as you're being asked different things, you can always kindly return the question by saying, Und du? And you? Und du? Und du? To then ask for recommendations, you can say, Was soll ich hier sehen? What should I see here? Was soll ich hier sehen? Was soll ich hier sehen? As an alternative, you could mention the name of the city by asking something like, Was soll ich in Hamburg sehen? What should I see in Hamburg? Was soll ich in Hamburg sehen? Was soll ich in Hamburg sehen? This is a great way to keep the conversation going and maybe even find out about some cool local spots. If you feel like sharing your profession in German, the following question will surely come in handy. Firstly, to ask if someone's a student, you can say, Bist du ein Student? Are you a student? Bist du ein Student? Bist du ein Student? Actually, if you look very young, Germans might ask you this as well. An important point to note, however, is that Student for men or Studentin for women in German is used exclusively for university students. Younger students are instead referred to as Schüler for boys and Schülerin for girls. But there are two more ways of asking if someone's a student. You could also say, studierst du? Do you study? Studierst du? Studierst du? Or if the person seems to be younger, gehst du noch zur Schule? Are you still attending school? Gehst du noch zur Schule? Gehst du noch zur Schule? To say, what do you do for a living in German, you say, was machst du beruflich? What do you do for a living? Was machst du beruflich? Was machst du beruflich? The answer to this question is simple, but there is something you need to be careful about. Normally, the sentence structure of German is the same as that of English. In particular, you're able to translate word for word. For example, ich bin ein Mann. I am a man. Ich bin ein Mann. Ich bin ein Mann. But when it comes to occupations, the article ein, eine, is dropped entirely. You would therefore say, for example, ich bin Schriftsteller. I am a writer. Ich bin Schriftsteller. Ich bin Schriftsteller. Since every job title in German has a male and female version, though, women would instead say, ich bin Schriftstellerin. I am a writer. Ich bin Schriftstellerin. Ich bin Schriftstellerin. If you don't want to talk about your position, you can just say the name of your company. In German, we use the preposition bei for saying you work at so-and-so company. For example, ich arbeite bei Google. I work at Google. Ich arbeite bei Google. Ich arbeite bei Google. Another question you should know how to ask is, what do you like to do? Was machen Sie gerne? What do you like to do? Was machen Sie gerne? Was machen Sie gerne? If you like to study languages, you can then answer this question with, ich lerne gern Sprachen. I enjoy learning languages. Ich lerne gern Sprachen. Ich lerne gern Sprachen. Without a doubt, you'll get people asking about just how far you've taken that interest. They might ask, wie viele Sprachen sprichst du? How many languages do you speak? Wie viele Sprachen sprichst du? Wie viele Sprachen sprichst du? You can then answer this question with, for example, ich spreche Englisch, Polnisch, Arabisch und ein bisschen Deutsch. I speak English, Polish, Arabic, and a little German. Ich spreche Englisch, Polnisch, Arabisch und ein bisschen Deutsch. Ich spreche Englisch, Polnisch, Arabisch und ein bisschen Deutsch. You might also hear someone's language ability described with the verb beherrschen. Sie beherrscht 6 Sprachen fließend. She speaks 6 languages fluently. Sie beherrscht 6 Sprachen fließend. Sie beherrscht 6 Sprachen fließend. It's a pretty formal verb, and it implies a great mastery over the languages. If you have other interests aside from learning new languages, you could answer with, for example, Ich besuche Kunstmuseen gern. I like going to art museums. Ich besuche Kunstmuseen gern. Ich besuche Kunstmuseen gern. The sentence structure used here is an easy way to describe something that you like to do. Just say what you do, such as I go to museums, and then add the word gern to express that doing so is enjoyable. Another way to do this is by using the verb mögen, or to like, combined with a noun form of the activity. Here's an example. Ich mag Fotografie. I like photography. Ich mag Fotografie. Ich mag Fotografie. And lastly, something a native speaker will always ask you: Why are you learning German? Warum lernst du Deutsch? Why are you learning German? Warum lernst du Deutsch? Warum lernst du Deutsch? There are, of course, different reasons as to why you want to learn the German language. In this example, let's say you're learning because your family members were ethnically German or spoke the language at home. You could then say, for example, Meine Großmutter kam aus Österreich. My grandmother came from Austria. Meine Großmutter kam aus Österreich. Meine Großmutter kam aus Österreich. But what if you're really just interested in European history, or if you just enjoy traveling around? In that case, you can use a sentence like Ich mag die deutsche Kunstgeschichte sehr gern. I really like German art history. Ich mag die deutsche Kunstgeschichte sehr gern. Ich mag die deutsche Kunstgeschichte sehr gern. Or it could be that you have a fascination with German music or film. If you like Johannes Brahms, for example, you could say Ich finde die Musik von Brahms absolut atemberaubend. I find the music of Brahms absolutely breathtaking. Ich finde die Musik von Brahms absolut atemberaubend. Ich finde die Musik von Brahms absolut atemberaubend. All of these are valid answers. Many people may also want to know how long you've been studying German. The typical way of asking would be Wie lange lernst du schon Deutsch? How long have you been learning German? Wie lange lernst du schon Deutsch? Wie lange lernst du schon Deutsch? You could then answer with, for example, ein bisschen mehr als ein Jahr. A little more than a year. Ein bisschen mehr als ein Jahr. Ein bisschen mehr als ein Jahr. Although it might sound a bit rude in English, German speakers might then reply with Dafür sprichst du sehr gut. Then you already speak very well. Dafür sprichst du sehr gut. Dafür sprichst du sehr gut. Try to remember that this is just a compliment, and it is usually not seen as rude by Germans. And that's it. You now know enough to confidently introduce yourself in German. In this lesson, you learned the German translations and proper usage of the questions What's your name? How old are you? Where are you from? How's the family? What are you doing here? What do you do for a living? What do you like to do? And why are you learning German? Want to learn German fast with PDF cheat sheets? You can get cheat sheets for all kinds of topics: travel, hobbies, love, and much more. And you learn all of the must-known words and phrases for each. Click the link in the lesson description and sign up for a free lifetime account to get them. That's it for today. See you next time. Bis bald wieder.
Hallo, ich heiße Laura. Hi everybody, I'm Laura. Welcome to GermanPod101.com's Deutsch in 3 Minuten, the fastest, easiest and most fun way to learn German. In the last lesson, we learned how to introduce ourselves in German. Today, we are going to learn how to use good manners as we thank people. Fertig? Are you ready? Los, so let's start. There are several ways to thank someone. Let's start with the easiest. It's just one word, danke. Danke. Danke means thank you. When saying thank you very much, you just need to add sehr. Danke, sehr. Sehr means a lot. So danke sehr is like saying thank you very much. During the last lesson, we discussed the informal and the formal way of speaking German. Danke is the casual way to thank someone. If you want to be more formal, there is another phrase you should use. Ich danke Ihnen. Ich danke Ihnen. Let's break this phrase down. Ich is I, and danke means thanks. Ihnen is a formal word for you in the dative case. Notice that we don't use Sie as in the last lesson. We will discuss German pronouns in more depth in a later lesson. The full sentence once again. Ich danke Ihnen. How do you answer? It's easy. Here are 2 different ways to do it. The first is bitte schön. Bitte schön. Bitte schön can be used with just about anybody. The other way to say you're welcome is the expression gern geschehen. Gern geschehen. Literally, this phrase means I liked it to happen or happened with pleasure. But it has become a common and polite way to respond to someone thanking you. So when someone says danke to us, we can simply reply with bitte schön or gern geschehen. Now it's time for Laura's insights. If you're not sure about whether to use danke or ich danke Ihnen, keeping it simple is always your safest bet. You don't have to worry about formal or informal situations. Danke can be used with just about anyone, anywhere and at any time. Do you know what Auf Wiedersehen means? In our next lesson, we'll learn this and other greetings in German. Danke und bis zur nächsten Lektion.
Expand your vocabulary with our core 2,000 words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free German ebook before it's gone.